Hello friends, welcome to this tutorial. So in this video I'm going to show you how to set up network teaming and network bridging on CentOS 7. This is one of the RHCE objectives on RHEL 7. I thought of showing you guys how to do that in this video. So basically, if you've got multiple network interface cards, you can group them together so that you get more bandwidth, you get higher throughput, and you can also get the fault tolerance. So in case if one of your NIC goes down or is faulty, then you can still be able to do the network connections and still be able to do the service, everything. You can do it in three different ways. You can use the Nmcli command, or you can use the text user interface, which is Nmcli, or you can directly edit the configuration files, the ifcfg, et0, et1, all those files that reside under etc sysconfig network scripts. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do that using the Nmcli and Nmcli commands. So here I've got the CenVMO1 CentOS 7 virtual machine. I'm not logged in via SSH because I'm going to be dealing with bringing up and bringing down the network interfaces. So I've logged in directly to the virtual machine console using the virt manager. So I'm going to log in. Let me show you what interfaces I've got at the moment. If you do IP link, or the short form is IPL. So I've got et0 and et1, and if I show you IP address show, or the short form is IPAS. So et0 has the address 122.101 and et1 has got address 122.128. So these two interfaces are up and running. They've got their own IP address from the DHCP server. So first, let's use the Nmcli command to create a network team so we can group these two interfaces together. So if I do Nmcli connection show, so I've got these two profiles. So wired connection 1 profile is mapped to the et1 device, and et0 profile is running on et0 device. So I'm going to clear these two profiles now. Nmcli connection delete et0, Nmcli connection delete, wired connection 1. And if you do Nmcli connection show, there's nothing in here. So let's create a new network team interface and then add et0 and et1 as the team slaves or the team ports. If you do IPAS now, so I don't have any active interfaces. So let's create a team interface now. So Nmcli connection add. So I'm going to add a new connection and I'm going to give it a name, team0. Con-name equals team0, and the type is team, and interface name is again team0. And there's one more thing you need to give, is a configuration. So which type of configuration you would like to have on this team interface. You can have active balance, you can have load balancing. There are a couple other configurations. So the default, I'm going to go with the load balance. So it's a JSON configuration formats. Config. So you're setting the runner to be a load balance. That's it. So I've added the team interface. So you're going to assign a static IP address to this. So let's assign the IP address and gateway to this team interface. Nmcli connection, I'm going to modify this profile now. So Nmcli connection mod team 0 IPv4 dot addresses 192.168.122.101/24. That's set, but we need to set this as a static IP address, so we need to do one more command, which is nmcli connection mod team 0 IPv4 dot method is manual. So I just set the configuration to be manual. That's done. So now we need to add the slaves to this team interface. So we need to add the yet0 and yet1 as slaves to this team. So we can do this using this command nmcli connection add. So give it a name, team 0 port 0. Type is team slave. IF name is yet0 and master is the one that we created earlier. Done. You don't have to assign any IP address to these interfaces because that's been taken care of by the team 0 interface. And let's do again for the other interface, yet1, and we call it team 0 port 1. So if you do nmcli connection show, so we have got the team 0 interface and two slaves, team 0 port 1 and team 0 port 0, yet1 and yet0. Okay, so to view the team's status, we can use the command teamdctl, the team name, which is team 0, and state. So it shows that we have got two ports, yet0 and yet1, and they're all up. If you look in the link summary, the status is shown as up, so both of them are up now. So if you do IPA yes, so I have the team 0 interface with the IP address 192.168.122.101, and we've got the yet0 and yet1 as well. So I'm going to open another terminal here. So this is my host machine where I'm running the these virtual machines. So let's try to ping sendvm01. So sendvm01 has got the address 122.101. Let's try to ping it. Ping sendvm01. So ping is working now. So let's try and bring one of the slaves down and see if we get any delays in the pings or if it drops the packets or something. So it's running now, and the teamdctl status shows that both the ports are up now. So let's assume that one of the NIC interface becomes faulty and stops working. So if you do nmcli device disconnect at 1, so that's down, and if you do nmcli connection show, so team 0 port 1 doesn't show the device yet1 because it's down, and if you do teamdctl team 0 state, it just lists you the yet0 port while the other port is down. And if you do IPA yes, I was expecting yet1 to be showing the status down, but don't worry, we don't have to worry about that. All we need to check is the team 0 status, which has got just one port running while the other port is down. And if you look at this one, so it's still running, so it's still pinging. That's still pinging, so it's working now. Let's try and bring up the port. nmcli connection up team 0 port 1. nmcli connection show teamdctl team 0 state. So we've again brought up the other port as well. So this is basically how you set up network teaming via the nmcli commands. I usually prefer doing it via the nmcli commands because if you're using Nmcli, it's going to be a little easier, but it's going to take a little longer to do than using the nmcli command. I'll show you how to do that via nmcli command as well. Okay, before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these profiles. So I don't have any profiles now. I don't have any active interfaces. So I'll show you how to do this via nmcli command. If you type nmtui and edit the connection, so there's nothing here because we've deleted all the profiles using the nmcli command. So I'm going to add a new connection. The connection type is going to be team, and let's give it a name, team0, and the device is team0. And I'm going to add team slaves now. Add. The type of slave I'm adding is Ethernet. I'm going to give this name team0 port 0, and the interface and the device is eth0. Okay, you don't have to assign any IP address to these slaves. We need to configure the IP address for the master. So I'm going to add another slave of type Ethernet, and I'm going to give it a name team0 port 1 and assign it to the interface eth1. Click OK, and now comes to the JSON configuration. If you click edit, it will open up the editor and you can enter your JSON configuration. Let's use the load balance. That's done. And IPv4 configuration, I'm going to assign a static IP configuration. So change that to static or manual and click on show. So add a new address, 192.168.122.101, and the net mask is 24, and add the gateway. As I'm in KVM, my gateway is 192.168.122.1. DNS server 192.168.1.200, which is my Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to add another DNS server 8.8.8, and search domain is jungle.kvm jungle.lab. Okay, that's done. Jungle.kvm is the domain where I've got all my KVM virtual machines running, and jungle.lab is my the actual home domain. So click on OK and quit. And if you look, Nmcli connection show, so we've got the same team0 and the two ports. And if you do IPA yes, so we've got the team0 interface with the address 192.168.122.102. And did I change the address? It should be 101. Okay, let's go back. Nmcli, edit the connection, team0 edit. Here you go. I've set the address to 102. It should be 101. Okay. Quit. Nmcli device disconnect team0. Nmcli connection up team0. IPA yes. There you go. So you've got the 192.168.122.101 IP. So let's check the status of this team interface. Team DCTL team 0 state. So which means our two ports are not running. So Nmcli connection show, yes, it's not running. Let's start them. Nmcli connection up, team 0, port 0 and port 1. Nmcli connection show, let's run it. IPA yes, that looks fine. Team DCTL team 0 states, yep. Okay, that's basically how you configure the network teaming. So network bridging is again exactly the same way like what we did for the network teaming. So I'm not going to show you how to do that via NMTUI. So if you go into NMTUI, when you create a new connection, you'll be selecting the bridge connection instead of the team, like what we did before, and you'll be adding the bridge slaves as we did for the network teaming. So anyway, I'll show you how to do that via Nmcli, because I like doing it via Nmcli. So before that, let's delete all our existing profiles. I don't have any profiles and interfaces are not active. Let me clear the screen. Okay, so now I'm going to add a bridge. Nmcli connection add connection name bridge 0. Type is going to be bridge. Interface name bridge 0. I think that's all I need. Instead of adding additional command, I can actually add it here. IP4 192.168.122.101/24. My gateway is going to be 192.168.122.1. Done. And now let's set the IP configuration to be static. Nmcli connection mod bridge 0 IPv4.method manual, and now let's add the two bridge slaves. The type is bridge slave. IF name is X0, master is bridge 0, and let's do for the other interface yet 1 and name it bridge 0 slave 1. That's all. And if you do Nmcli connection show, you've got bridge 0 interface, you've got yet 0, you've got yet 1, and let's see if they're all active. Yes, they are active, and let's try to ping. Yes, working. Okay, I think, okay, let's do one more thing. Edit the connection, the bridge 0 connection which we created via Nmcli. You can edit it from NMTUI. It has added the two bridge slaves, and so I've got all these settings, the static IP address settings. Let me quit out of this. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to show you in this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.